Good afternoon, I'm Wall Holmes and welcome to the Half 4 News. These stories for today. Many people have put on their running shoes and taken on the challenge of running 56 miles over the month of February to raise money for cancer research. Are the negative side effects of contraceptive pills deterring women from taking them, resulting in more unexpected pregnancies or making women turn to menstrual apps to prevent getting pregnant? And with February drawing to a close, it marks the end of LGBT History Month, which educates many on the history of the queer community, which has been celebrated over the last 4 weeks. For many people, getting out for a run in the fresh air has savoured in lockdown. Now, some fundraisers have just a few days left to complete a target of 56 miles in February to raise money for cancer research. Knee folks laced up their trainers to find out more.
For many of us, running has kept us going during lockdown, but some charity fundraisers are getting the miles in for a good cause. Run 56 saw participants running 56 miles over February for cancer research.
I did the challenge for two reasons. One being for like my fitness and health. Obviously, being a new year, new month, I was like, it's gonna help towards me getting stronger and fitter. And then the other reason was because of I've had a few family members that have been affected with cancer, and I think everyone has as well. Like you ask everyone, and they're always like, I hear a story, it's quite upsetting. So I'm doing it for everyone that's been affected, really.
Getting your trainers on and pounding the pavement has mental as well as physical health benefits.
Motivate people during the pandemic and increase their health and mindfulness. 4 in 10 cancers can be reduced just by lifestyle choices.
So today is a 3-mile run and I'm about halfway.
In a time where everyone is apart, the challenge brought people together via social media.
They're posting every day about their achievements, how far they've run, whether they're running, walking, dancing, going down the street in fancy dress. But people are commenting on that and encouraging, and it seems like a real community feel.
Today is 5 miles and I'm about 2 miles in.
Definitely, it gives you that get up and go in the morning, because obviously lockdown, it can be miserable it can be hard for everyone.
The effects of the pandemic on cancer research are becoming more apparent. 41.5 fewer cancer patients started their treatment. Patients starting treatment following a referral from cancer screening was down 54%.
The COVID pandemic, Cancer Research UK has predicted a loss of £160 million by the end of March 2021, which is a significant loss of income when you're talking about research into cancer. And £160 million is equivalent to 10 years worth of clinical
With
trials
events
research.
like this, hopefully the finish line to end cancer is closer.
So me and the dog have just finished a very cold 2-mile jog.
I want to bring forward the day when all cancers are cured.
New folks, Quays News.
The risks of negative side effects from taking contraceptive pills are deterring women from using birth control and potentially resulting in unexpected pregnancies. Elizabeth Grattan has been to speak to a local nurse to find out more.
Over 3 million women in the UK were prescribed the contraceptive pill between 2017 and 2018.
Birth control pill is safe and super simple. You swallow one tiny pill every day, and that's it. You're protected from pregnancy.
This is the most popular form of birth control, but I wanted to see if girls have stopped taking birth control because of the effects.
It's putting different amounts of hormones into your body. So obviously like estrogen and progesterone are fat storing hormones. So they're going to make you put weight on. And obviously they can change your mood and stuff. But
other than her own knowledge of the common effects, Helena shares her personal experiences whilst being on birth control.
So the combined pill caused me to have cluster headaches, like it's called migraines with aura, where you see things. The pop pill made me gain weight, changed my mood, and the coil caused me to bleed for 7 months non-stop.
I shared a survey online, and from looking at the results, it's clear that many women have experienced negative effects from birth control. I was shocked to see the amount of women that have been sexually active in the past that have avoided being on a form of birth control due to the side effects. Some women are now tracking their fertility online to determine when they are most likely to become pregnant and avoiding being sexually active for those days.
Is there a certain time of the month where you are less likely to get pregnant?
Yeah, so prior to your ovulation and the day of ovulation itself are your two most fertile days. So once the egg has fully gone, usually after the day of your ovulation, you cannot get pregnant until like your next cycle month. So some people would use that as a form of contraception itself. If you're not tracking correctly, then there's a chance that you could become pregnant. You know, even if you're using the apps, they can't be 100% accurate that you when your fertility is and when you are ovulating or anything. So you could still become pregnant.
Although tracking your fertility online is an unorthodox form of birth control, it seems women would rather take the risk than suffer the after effects. Liz Grattan, Quays News.
The Prime Minister's roadmap for easing of lockdown restrictions has revealed that grassroots football is expected to return on the 29th of March. Our reporter Matt Cunningham is live to discuss its return. Matt, what is the timeline looking like for grassroots sports to be back in full swing?
Yeah, thank you, Ola. On Monday, the Prime Minister announced the nation's path out of lockdown. This is what we know the roadmap to currently look like. As you can see in Step 1B on the 29th of March, outdoor sport is allowed to return, and that's the key date for grassroots level sports. As for professional sports, they come back into play later on in May, and with that, most Premier League clubs are expecting to be playing in front of roughly 10,000 fans for their final game of the season, which would be a huge milestone for football in this country. It was actually reported that Manchester United may have lost somewhere in the realm of 100 million due to the loss of gate receipts from the pandemic, so the return to normality will be hugely welcomed by all.
Thank you, Matt. And with February drawing to a close also marks the end of that's been celebrated in various ways throughout the past 4 weeks. We've been hearing from the queer community about what the month means to them and the battle to get it started in the first place.
I spent my teenage years listening to lyrics like Buju Banton's Boom Bye Bye in a batty boy head. What he's saying is that gay people should be shot in the head. Imagine that. Those lyrics were heard by millions. In those days, it never made me angry. In fact, I used to dance to it. In 1999, I married a man. Was I in denial? Threesome anyone? Yes, me, him, and she. I came out as a lesbian in 2003. Looking back, all the clues were there. It's just me that couldn't see. People knew I was gay before me.
We had been passionate about trying to get LGBT visuals there in the world because we were very hidden. So we were working hard trying to make things happen. And then, of course, Section 28 came along. And that was in 1988, and it didn't stop to 2003.
Children who need to be taught to respect traditional moral values are being taught that they have an inalienable right to be gay.
And it was a horrific piece of legislation. It said thou shalt not promote homosexuality or promote homosexuality as a pretended family relationship. So when Section 28 finally finished in 2003, it seemed to us this was the ideal opportunity to come up with the dream that we had often been thinking about, which was setting up LGBT History Month.
I love that it sits in February because it's like you start the year by looking back and reflecting and going, these are the people that we stand on the shoulders of.
A month dedicated to us and our community and sharing our history.
We have to be cognizant of the past so that we can actively continue to work against that, and things do slide backwards.
We cannot be what we cannot see, and having prominent LGBTQ plus people in history gives hope to people.
I mean, the only reason why I write is because when I used to say this, even when I was a little child, was that the stories that I was reading never felt like they were my story, and I never really put my finger on it till I got older.
Having queer culture trickle into the mainstream is so important. To find a space where you see yourself is vital. It's vital.
You also identify as non-binary.
Mm-hmm. There's theory and practice. So the law in there, so that's the theory, we're practiced. But in practice, hate crime is still happening. Homophobia is still present in schools, colleges and university and in the workplace.
How do you expect people to contribute to a society and feel part of a culture in the society if they feel they have no connection to it?
I'm free to finally be who I'm meant to be, living this reality within the LGBTQ+ community. I'm going to take a bow because I'm happy now. I am free.
And that is all we have time for today. This has been the Half 4 News with me, Orla Holmes.